Welcome to another episode of the Perspective Podcast. My name is Lima Temi, and we're back. This is episode 41, and we're doing things a little bit different on this episode. We're using another software. Shout out to Riverside. You know, we're using Riverside now. Before we were using CapCut and we were using Podcastle. And although those systems are good, it is very time consuming, and we're going to see how this is going to look like, because if this works out well, then hopefully this will, one, make the time consumption a bit better to edit a podcast, because podcasts are long. It takes 45 to an hour long to do, and then it takes a couple more hours to edit that, and then a couple more hours to do the clips, to do the captions, to do the chapters. It takes it an awful amount of time. So I think we may have sorted something out and got a rhythm here, but hey, it's all about amount of time before we actually realize if it's worth doing or not. But anyway, welcome to the Perspective Podcast. And let me just tell you, it's Monday. We're already going through a whole lot of problems, bro. We're already going through a whole lot of problems. This morning, woke up at 6. Went to the gym, ran to my gym, by the way, because I don't have a car. I've been running to the gym. It's a little 5K run there. And then that was a W workout. Did a pull and back session. It's nice to be at the gym in the morning. I woke up this morning and I was thinking, why is it bright? I had no clue of what actually happened. We're at the gym now. I'm speaking to my guy at the gym, and he's on about how the times went back. I didn't really take it in that much. I was thinking, oh, it goes back this week. It goes back this weekend, so it's cool. Get back. Actually, I go to Aldi, do my little fruit shops, whatever, essentials. Come back home now, and then I'm thinking, let's look at the weather and what it's saying today, bro. Sunset is at 4, sunrise is at 6:50 something. And it all made sense. The clock went back, but I just didn't realize. But anyway, yeah, that's that don't really matter. But yeah, that was my morning routine as well. Took a cold shower, and my boy sent me this video that cold showers are actually bad for you. Well, if you do it the wrong way, if you take too many cold showers in the morning, because I'm a morning guy, so I love to take a cold shower in the morning. So the video was like, if you do it too many times, it increases the level of stroke. And I was thinking, ain't no way. But in the comments, everyone was saying you gotta start from your feet up, because that is the healthiest way, instead of doing it from head down, because it lowers your chance of stroke, and it's the healthiest way, really. And people think that if you do cold shower, you're just doing it to be tough, or you're just doing it to be whatever, that Mojo Jojo guy. But promise you, a cold shower is deeper than what it actually may be, because it's just that way that brings you back to that level ground. It's that way that makes you grateful, and it really is that real dopamine feeling. I think that is one of the best natural dopamine feelings that you can get, to just have that cold shower. Because those first few seconds, bro, life comes at you fast, and you'll be thinking, what are we doing here? But then when you get the rhythm of it, bro, it's the best thing ever. And then when you get out the shower, you'll still be feeling warm. But when you take a warm shower, you'll come out feeling cold, because obviously you're exposed to the cold air. Like, it's mad how it works. But yeah, honestly, cold showers are lit, and you don't need to take it every day. I used to take it Monday to Friday, and I was like, okay, we're stopping doing that. And then now it's like 3 times a week now. I think that's balanced, 3 or 4 times a week, depending on what my workouts are doing. Because if I do a long run, I'm taking a cold shower straight after, because yeah, we need to cool ourselves down. We've been running for like over an hour, so we need to cool our system down. But yeah, honestly, start taking cold showers, or at least try it once, because I promise you, it does wonders. Every episode is a word of encouragement, and on this episode, I'm gonna just say, whatever you're feeling, feel your emotions. If you're feeling happy, be grateful. If you're feeling sad, speak to someone, because the last thing you want to do is keep it in. Because when you do that, things just start to jumble up, and things just start getting worse. Speak to someone, because you're not alone. And if you're happy, embrace your happiness. Embrace your struggle too, because it's part of the journey. wow, it's part of the journey. All those moments are preparation for where you're supposed to be. So if you're going through a rough patch in your life, it's okay. Speak to someone and allow that time. And also hang in there because it's only about to get better. And if you're going through a good period, stay grateful and don't get too arrogant because life can change in a second. You know, all these things are meaningless. And it can be easy to get caught up in the good moments because it's a good moment. We all thrive. We all work hard to have a good moment because those dark periods are dark. But we got to go through those moments for us to appreciate the good moments, and we got to go through the good to appreciate how bad that was, so we can actually be happy and appreciate it. So allow the time, speak to someone, and be grateful for the time that you've got because life can be cruel at times, but we just gotta stay shining and just keep doing what we do best, you know, causing havoc, taking that risk and do what I love to do. And of course, our parents and all that stuff, or people, our peers, our friends may say the complete opposite, but I'll always be that person to say, take that risk, even if it's not as calculated as it may be, do it because in the long run, it will help. You got to do the things that will help you long term, but short term, it will just be a whole lot of pain. I'd rather do that than have short term wins and long term stress. That's just a way of life. You know, I'd rather have those things because it's that delayed gratification of that you're doing something well. So yeah, take that risk, do something. If you fail, just make it as it will be a good story in the future. Because boy, how have I had so many failures. I'm only 23 and the amount of failures I've had, bro, it's double my age, bro. It's ridiculous. And to the point sometimes I even get scared to do something because it's like, okay, I think we're doing too much or we've done too much, we failed too much. That's like, I don't want to fail anymore. But how are you supposed to win if you don't make that effort to try something or just do that one thing? Because that may be the generational thing that's right in front of you, but you're just too afraid. And that's something that I've got to learn and get better at because sometimes it can get scary out here. It can get so scary, but we're blessed, we're enough, we're loved, and we'll always find a way. And before we get into the pod, I just want to record something for. I don't know where I put my phone. I don't know where I put my phone. It's right here. Wait, we are in the process of filming a podcast. We have this up right here and we're using Riverside. You would have thought it was switching up the gears because we used to use something different, but the production level goes up as the production level goes up. So yeah, tap into Perspective Podcast because it's an absolute beast of a podcast. It cooks, it doesn't miss. We'll talk about all the latest music things and just in life general. Dave's album, Daniel Caesar, Tame Impala, everything. You see that. But anyway, yeah, where were we? Thank you for every single person that's tapping into the podcast because every week we're growing and every week we're getting better. There's always something new that's happening and something new that's developing. And every week we literally are on a rise and thank you. We have something that is coming very, very soon. It's just about the process and the time. So thank you because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. You just tap into the episode every week. Even if you just listen to it for a couple of minutes, it means a lot to me. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Something special is happening. Trust me, something special is happening because I appreciate every single one of you. We're a community. You're the same as me. Nerd of music, love music so much that I could talk about all day, hence why this podcast. And yeah, let's dive into the podcast, shall we? Episode 41, let's get it. The main thing that we may speak about for the majority of this podcast is Dave's album. Santan Dave dropped his album, The Boy Who Played the Harp, and we've got a lot to talk about because there's a lot on this album to talk about that even if I mention the things that I know, I definitely missed out on a lot of things that has happened on this album. The first one being that there is so many deep concepts that you literally have to listen to it more than once for you to understand it. There's so much for you to listen to, for you to understand that I made a reaction video and the things that I know now, it flew over my head the first time listening to it, that listening to it now, I'm just more gassed about the lyrics or what's being said or the production or what's even going on sonically around the album, that the first listen is kind of it's kind of mid compared to my second or third listen. And yeah, the third listen was at the gym. The first listen was when it dropped because I listened to it right on the dot, which I'm grateful to have that moment because yeah, it's a good album. But we're gonna start with something here. This album is different. If you're a normal Dave fan that likes his heavy hitters, that likes, to hear not always just the bars, but just to hear the good production or just that song that you can just listen to in the background or just vibe to, this album may not be for you because yeah, this album is, I even said it in my reaction video, it's low-key like Mr. Morale and how it's very selfishly about him. It's about him. It's about his problems. It's about his family. It's about his conflicts. It's just about his religious ways and just the way that he moves, his friends, his peers, women, kids growing up, his mom, his abandonment from his father, all these things of his youth growing up. Like, it's very personal to him. And in my opinion, because it's that personal to him and the way that it's very conflicting, a lot of people are going to relate to things like that because that's that realness that you enjoy from the music. He even says in the album that his identity is pain, like that pain that it brings out, people relate to it. That's why it's so heavily respected. Like yesterday, I was on a walk and I was just thinking about Dave's music. The fact that Broski was talking about so much of that stuff at the age of 21, 20, or just in his late teens at a young age. No wonder why he's got a cult of people that appreciate his music because people can relate to him and it don't matter your skin color, bro, because we're all alone in this together. No pun intended, but it's facts. The way that he talks about all these things, like it makes sense, especially for people like us. If you have abandonment from your father, if you find in love, if you're doubting yourself, like all this mental health stuff, it's real. And he literally shows that even when you're at the top, when you're at the peak of your music career, you're still going to be going through the same conflicts as someone who's just living a normal life, as us, as all of us. Like it don't make none of us different because those problems, those conflicts, they probably hit 10 times hard, and that's facts. But yeah, this is a deep album and it takes a lot of time for you to appreciate it. When I was listening to it the first time, I was thinking, I like the album, but there's not one song that's like stuck out to me as much. And over time, I'm like, you know what? I take it back. This album is good, even though there isn't no commercial song. And that's to say the least. The most commercial song on that album is the one with Thames because it just makes sense. It's a really good song, but compared to his music that he does, it's not always like that. So it's a very different, and it's a different approach to things. The meaning of the boy who played harp, basically in the Bible, there's a guy named David. I believe he's one of Jesus' disciples, and he was one of the guys that was going through so many problems. He's literally been through everything. David is one of them guys in the Bible that's been through so much conflict, arrest. He's been arrested. He's been through harassment. He's been through war. He's been through pain. He's been through grief. He's been through so much stuff, even his own sins that he's been battling. Yet he came back on the other side greater and better, and God still chose him because he's the type of guy that's always going through pain. But even during the pain, he's still being grateful for the life that he has. He's still praising. He's still being happy. He's still doing the things that makes him happy for the people that he loves and for the people around him and for the man that he serves. And there's a book in the Bible called Samuel, and there's a lot of parts that mention David. And in chapter 16, the meaning of that, hence why the song Chapter 16, basically it's saying how David is, of course, he's a man of God, and as well, he loves music. So what he does to battle the evil spirits, he uses the harp as a instrument to fight away the evil spirits. Hence why the album title, The Boy Who Played Harp, David, he is basically claiming himself as David. And it also goes that David was fighting against someone who was a villain. However, that person who is the villain was also a hero. So it really makes you think everyone can be a hero and a villain in their own eyes. And hence why during this album, I forgot the song it was. I think it's, give me some time on this one. It's my 27th birthday, and he's saying it's like about, he basically says it's a battle that I keep losing. And on the song, I think it's 175 months, when he says that everyone's fighting the angels and the demons, but I'm just fighting my angels because they're the ones that are stopping me from reaching my path, or something like that. Like, he's basically saying that he is his own villain. He's his own hero and villain in his storyline, because he's the one that's stopping himself from growing out, or fighting these curses that goes on in his life. And it's real. We all go through these problems. So for him to name the album The Boy Who Named the Harp, because that is literally the name that he's been given. Hence why the intro called History, where he says the line, my mama told me the power, my mama told me the meaning of my name, and the power just kicked in, which is a reference to Bullet from a Gun off Skepta's album Ignorance is Bliss, which is the intro on the album. So for it to both be the intro, it makes sense. And yeah, the power of David is basically him being the disciple that's always going to be the one who's praising and showing his gratitude and his love, even when he's going through all that pain. And if you're going through all that suffering, you're still going to be able to make it out the other side. And it's a testament. This album is literally a testament of just his life and everything that's going on. So props to him on the way that he's done that, because he's carried it well. The album is 47 minutes. A lot of people, including myself, was thinking 47 minutes. However, I was also thinking, if it's 47 minutes, there's 10 songs. Clearly, you could have added more for it to be like an hour or something, but at the same time, it shows that this album was quantity over quality. I mean, no, quality over, wow, let me say that again. It shows that this album was quality over quantity, and the quality does show. The production is very good, and you have nothing but respect for that. And as the album goes on, you have songs like No Weapon, and it really does remind me of Lazarus, how when it goes, any weapon formed against me can't prosper, imposter, I'm a villain with lead. Like, he loves to reference his old songs in these new songs, and it's sick. It's good to see Jimmy Legacy on this song as well, because he deserves his praise. On songs like Rain Dance, he's got his production credits in that too, and written credits in that too, which is sick. So I have nothing but appreciation for Jim Legacy for the way that he's contributed for this album, because he's good at what he does. His mixtape, Black British Music, is sick, and he deserves more love. And I've been saying that a few more times, but it definitely deserves more praise because it's a good project. And the fact that he has Dave on the album too, like, come on now. But the best song on the album is not even the one with Dave. The best song on Jim Legacy's album, it may be '06 Wayne Rooney. That one there, top tier. Even the new David Bowie or Tiger Drive or something like that. But there's just a lot of songs on the album that just make sense. But yeah, shout out to Jim Legacy. And then you have Rain Dance. And you know how much I fuck with Thames' music. Her music is just too good. So for her to do that is like, it just makes sense. The way she sounds, where she's harmonizing while Dave is rapping in the background. And then, yeah, everything about Thames' contribution to the album, perfect. She didn't do too much. She didn't do too little. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. Like, bro, it sounds top tier. And in my opinion, I thought that was going to be my favorite, but it is not even my favorite. Even though it's a really good song though, but it's not my favorite. And then you have the song Chapter 16. And I was a bit skeptical about that one because I like Sully's rapping. I like Kano's rapping because he sounds good. He's always going to have that good lyrical flow. Like, his lyricism is top tier. However, sometimes when he's rapping, he just sounds off sometimes. And this one, it sounded very weird at the start. And then as the song went on, it got better. And I can appreciate that more. And I know that it's just the way that he's delivering and he's doing his flows. It makes sense. But sometimes it's like, alright, bro, like, you have to cut it out a little bit because, yeah, I'll for this to be one of my favorites, bro, I'm I'm gonna like it at some point, but it's like, damn, what are we doing here? But regardless, that's besides the point. Kano played a good contribution again to the album, and when Dave and Kano were going back and forth, perfect. You know, it was basically I could visualize the scene in my head, like the whole conversation. They're at a cafe, they're eating their sandwich or whatever, they're drinking their coffee, tea, whatever. They're just talking about life and how Dave is mentioning how he wants to spend more time with Kano more than just on a big screen because they were on Top Boy. And for them to be on Top Boy is crazy because one of Dave's goals was to be on Top Boy or to be on a TV show to do something like that. And for him to do that wearing Stone Island, which is one of he's an ambassador of Stone Island, I believe. So for him to be able to do that is sick. And for him to be having Kano on a song is sick. And then for Kano to just be giving him life advice on that song, like it could have been off camera, I mean off mic, whatever, but he decides to do that for the album. So it really makes you realize that even though we are the consumers of the album, so is Dave the consumer of the album because he's having his peers, his people that he looks up to, giving him tips so that he can listen to it in his own time. It really is a way of him just having that spiritual development of him learning and then growing and then becoming a better person because the best way for you to learn is from the people that you look up to and from also experience. And he's learning that through the trials and tribulations that he's gone through. You know, it's all because of that time and that life skills that is going through and the people that is with. You know, we all got to go through that, and it's a really good song. Chapter 16 is very valid. The production, James Blake harmonizing in the background, bro. James Blake, let's just say something right here. He does not miss. Like, it's ironic how his best songs are when he's featured with rappers, when he does his songs with Travis Scott, when he does his songs with Dave. They just don't miss, and I really appreciate their music together because it just sounds really good, and you could just tell that there's chemistry between both of them because it's very effortless, and that's all you need from an artist. It's not forced, it's not, you know, done too much. It's just perfect. It's balanced perfect. One thing I'll say though on the song "Selfish," that's my least favorite contribution. Least contribution James Blake played on that. I think he did better on History and Chapter 16. Even though he didn't say anything on Chapter 16, bro, you could just tell that his production and his singing in the background, it just did more to me than Selfish. Maybe I need to listen to Selfish again because it is a good song, but I do feel like Dave's last part of that song stole the show because I wasn't really a fan of the first part, but the second part of the song is better to me. But regardless, those are good songs, and James Blake doesn't miss. And then you have, what's the song after that? Damn, wow, it's not stopping. Okay, and then you have the song My 27th Birthday. The birthday stamps that he does, top tier. And I can't lie, I think My 27th Birthday may be my favorite because I've not stopped listening to it since. There's so many things that he said on that song, that one song that literally could, bro, if an album can just have one song, I think he'd only need to have that song on there because actually maybe Chapter 16, but bro, everything that he spoke about on that song is just top tier. Him talking about him not wanting to do the wrong things again, or him wanting to have a better life for his people, him still having the thoughts if he's doing the wrong thing, if he's doing the right things, him still thinking that he's losing the battle, him still, you know, he's very just conflicted and he does not know what he's doing. Like, let me just get the lyrics, bro, because, bro, it's like, there's just something about that song that hits me at one point to the point that I was even thinking that Broski was talking to me. You know, he says this one part was like, everyone wants to do content, but no one's content. I literally was thinking, damn, maybe he's right. Like, honestly, like, things like that really just make you deep. Like, yo, that's actually kind of true. But there's one part on this album. He says this on the album. He's saying, we don't need no commentators. We should just leave it to the sports. Just listen to the music. Why need someone else's thoughts? Because everyone runs on Twitter or TikTok to get someone's, or YouTube reactions to get someone else's thoughts. And I'm guilty of this as well. To get someone else's thoughts and be like, maybe they're right, but it really should just be your thoughts or what you feel or what you think. And he goes on to say, and some of it's constructive, but most of it is some of it's constructive, but most of it is forced. And why are we counting numbers? How did the music make you feel? Again, Twitter. This is where Twitter is a problem, because although some things are constructive, some things are valid, because we shouldn't always take opinions from ourselves. We should be open to listen to others. Valid. However, how did the music make you feel? What about that album did you like? What about that album did you not like? You know, it's forced when people just say mid, mid, mid. Like what was mid about the album? Because there surely has to be something. You know, what did you not like about that? What did you not like about it for you to call it mid? You know, people were so quick to do that on albums like Music, or people were quick to do that on albums like Whole Lot of Red. It's always a Carti album, or Utopia, or Jack Boys, even though Jack Boys 2 is not really a good album because it just sounds forced and rushed. However, like there's so many albums that drop and then people should be like mid, mid. And then when someone says why, they're like, I don't know, like they're not really saying a reason why. Chromacopia, you know, people think that album is mid, when I still like that album. I may not listen to it as much, but it's a good album. It's a good album, and I appreciate it. And especially seeing the album live, it makes you appreciate it a little bit more. But anyway, back to what I was saying. How did the music make you feel? The numbers, everyone is quick to go on numbers, because I'll be honest, I like to look at the chart there. I'm guilty of that. Like that's something that I'll actually raise my hands, because I'm always, not always, I'm always, I'll go on Twitter, right? And when an album's dropped, I love to go on chart there to see how it's doing, or just what's going on in that side of things. And sometimes it's a good day, sometimes it's a bad day. Like the other day, because it was Drake's birthday, he got more plaques on plaques, more what is it? RIAA, the certified diamond plaques. He had Nice for What, Non-Stop, Headlines, the motto. He had another one. He had Take Care finally went diamond, and then something else went diamond. But bro, he basically has the most diamond songs, and that is ridiculous, because the most diamond songs is crazy. And I thought that Views is a diamond album, but it's 9 times platinum. It deserves to be diamond, because that is literally the biggest album that it's the biggest. Why is it? It's the biggest album that went number one first week. It did over 1 million first week, and that's the only album that's done that since Eminem's album, which is from 2000. No, the latest one before Drake was Eminem. No, fuck, I'm messing this up. The one that went a mil first week before Drake was Lil Wayne with the Carter 3, I believe. I think so. But yeah, it's mad. It's crazy. It's either Carter 3 or Eminem, one of them. But yeah, it's mental how those things just happen. Like, he's really been getting his facts. But yeah, it's good to see the chart data and stuff like that, because it's good to see your artist that you appreciate their accomplishments. However, sometimes it can be dark when artists like Taylor Swift is getting 4 million first week, and then people are saying bots, fraudulent behavior. Or when Travis Scott gets a #1 song and then it drops down the most the next week, people fraudulent, and Kendrick Lamar. But to be fair, I can't lie, it can be a bit fraudulent, but that's besides the point. I think it can be so easy to look at numbers and to look at what everyone's saying about the numbers, or someone be fraudulent just because they're playing the game, which, why wouldn't they do that? You know, that's part of the game. You're selling your art to others because there's something special about that. We're in 2025. We're not in 1996 where you had to physically go and get it. Like, you can get that stuff. You can get the bundles. You can get all that stuff. Like, that's the beauty of it now, and it just has to be accepted. But people don't want to, you know, accept that now because they're so stuck on the past. Like, move on, grow up. However, getting a physical copy from the store is a beautiful feeling that can't be replicated now. But we're just in this time that we're in now. However, getting numbers over your head, it should not be done. How did the music make you feel? And how did it, how did it make you feel? Because an album that may have not even done well chart wise, maybe the best piece of music ever, or the album that's done the best chart wise, maybe the most horror music ever. It's just subjective, it's very subjective, and that's why it should be like, take every little thing with a pinch of salt, because not everything is how you think it is. Everything is always fabricated or done to the max. It could have the most marketing or could not have the most marketing. It just depends on how the music makes you feel. But yeah, 27th Birthday has so many deep things that I said. There's a few more that I'm just gonna say. He's very conflicted, saying, "Before I find love, I'm just praying I find peace." Don't we all? Aren't we all, bro? Aren't we all praying we find peace? Cause she's this life is crazy. Yeah, my work is a physical weight on my life and my health. Basically saying that his life is just heavy. He's got like basically saying heavy is the head. How do I explain me and my soulmate are strangers that we've already met? Like literally. How do I explain because I'm running out of pages? How can I explain to my kids that it's fake? What? How do I explain to my kids that it's fake wind? Because when you're in Qatar, bro, it's not everything's real there, mate. But now, honestly, this album, 27th Birthday, is something magical about that. And for you to get to the last part of that song, you get that call from his older brother. And I can't lie, till this day, I'm still like, you never know what's actually happened behind the scenes with his brother and stuff. Obviously, he did what he did. He murdered someone, I believe. So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit off, but like, you never know what actually happened behind the scenes. Like, there's a lot of controversy that goes on behind because of his older brother. But hey, at the end of the day, your family is your family. Clearly, if he did that, must be for protection, but you don't know what's happened behind the scenes. But however, it's good to hear his brother on the outro, taking all of that crime stuff out of the equation. It's good to hear that because, you never know what's happened and we will never know. I mean, it's being published on the news about the stuff that's happened, but the news is the worst thing to get information from because they want to make you sound like the villain. So yeah, take it with a pinch of salt. And then after my 27th birthday, I believe it's Marvelous. And Marvelous is my least favorite on the album. I'm not really a fan of it. I think there's something about that song that's just, I don't know, when he does his, I need to stop saying, I don't know, when he does his like singing songs, it's not really my favorite. For example, 20 to 1 or songs like Voices. I'm not really a fan of them because I'm just not really keen. But I do appreciate the art because it's a good song, but it's just not something that I can see myself listening to. The chorus is good, but it's just the chorus that catches my eye. Everything else is like, it's cool and it's okay for that. It's okay. Not everything will click to you. Maybe it will in the next couple of months or weeks. Sometimes, hey, word to J. Cole. Sometimes you got to step away, do some living, and come back to it because you may appreciate it more. So, yeah, I'm just leaving it the way it is. And when it's time, I may actually eventually like it. And then you have the song Fairchild, which, again, hats off to him and Nicole's performance. It really does remind me of Both Sides of a Smile and Leslie, how they were going back and forth, because this one is basically about them talking about how women are just, how do I say this in a better way? How women go through these situations when men just harass and abuse them just because they're on a night out, just because they're having fun. They think that they can manipulate them or, do what they want to them just because they've had a couple of drinks. It's not it. And even when like the Uber drivers walking back home late at night, like it's things like that that are serious. When we've all had that girl that we speak to, that we're chatting to, when they're afraid to walk home alone, so they ring you just to make sure that they can hear your voice, or just to make sure that the person that's watching them can see that they're on the phone or doing something, so that it stops them from getting harassed or something, because those things are real. Like, you have to have a girl that's been in that situation for you to understand, and we will never understand as men because it's actually real. Like, men are weird, bro. Like, they're so weird. So for them, for Dave and Nicole to do that song together, it's sick because it's needed to be said. It's needed to be spoken about, because Danger actually does not look like no killer in a mask. Like, it's 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 a normal guy. It's a normal person, and it's a shame, but it's a normal guy. It's your cab driver. It's that guy with just short temper, just those little things, bro, or just entitlement, or just can't handle rejection, and it's life. I'm grateful that I've been raised around women, or just raised in a household of love, to know that it's not the right thing to do. Bro, I'm too shook to do that myself. I don't have no will in my body to actually act like that. So for other people to act like that's crazy. But yeah, that it's mad, because people generally will do that just to get with the girl, and then it ends up being abuse, or ends up being even 10 times worse when it's not the case. But yeah, if you know people that do that stuff, or have actions that are a bit weird, test them, you know, cut them off or something, because there's no way you should let them get away with that, because it's real life. We all go through problems, situations, but women, they stop that, because it's weird. It's weird, very weird. And yeah, very weird. Very, very, very weird. Honestly, when I have a daughter, I can't wait to have a conversation with her and actually be with her in them situations when she's not alone. And obviously she will be alone, because she's gonna have to grow up and go through them situations herself. But with the right people that you're around in them situations, it reduces that. But I feel like as a woman, sometimes there's nothing that you can do in them situations. Like, it's going to happen. Harassment is going to happen, especially if you're like a good looking girl or something on your own or something. Like, it's gonna happen, and that's the sad thing. It's actually sad. It's sad, but it's life, man. And it should not be the case. But yeah, Fairchild is a deep song, and it deserves a lot of love. And then it goes to the outro, The Boy Who Played Harp, which has productions and written credits from Paul, is it one of the Beatles, one of the Beatles lads. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. It's Paul. Yeah, Paul McCartney. There we go. There's written and production credits from Paul McCartney. Whoa. There's written credits from Paul McCartney. Whoa. There's written credits from Paul McCartney. Why say McCartney? There's written credits from Paul McCartney and John Legend. There's written credits from Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Sheesh. Get your words out, man. Feck. But yeah, so obviously on that song you can hear the piano going on through the whole song, and him just going on what would he do in this next generation, and how we would do to be a better man, and him basically just talking to himself, just don't stop, keep going, because this is not just about you, it's about the people around you, it's about the people you serve, it's about the people that listen to your music religiously, and it's just about, being your own self. Like, we're going through, well, we're going through all these problems to fight our generational curses, so that we can help our kids and our kids' kids, so that they can battle them situations and not go through that same generational curse. It's all about that time and that reflection and that going through that soul searching, which he mentioned in the album. Sheesh. But yeah, overall, I really like Dave's album. A lot of people don't really appreciate it that much. And obviously, it's early doors. The album came out a couple of days ago. So, we're going to have to allow the time. But it's a good album. We are still waiting for our exclusive merch and vinyl and cassette for the album. Because, we got the Spotify exclusive. We got the Blue Edition, which is actually sick. But yeah, I can't wait to get that, because people are getting theirs now. And apparently there's a additional verse on History for the people that have the vinyl. So we will be playing that, even though I don't have the best vinyl in the world. I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit, and I'm gonna play it on a vinyl just to hear it, because hey, why not? Why not? And also on top of that, we'll be at his tour. And one thing I will say with this album, because it's a different approach on the album that he's done, how will it sound on tour? Because like, I don't know if he can perform my 27th birthday on tour, because I'll be honest, who was gonna be rapping to that 7-minute song front to back? It will not be me. It will not be me. It will not be me. I don't know if I'm just tripping or if I'm doing something wrong, or if I'm saying something wrong, but he's gonna have to take a different approach for this tour, because there's a lot of songs that it's difficult for you to do for a tour. It's very difficult, but it will be done. It has to be. The tour's basically sold out. Like, there's no tickets available unless you go to any shows in Europe. But yeah, if you're gonna be at the London night one, I think that's one's gonna be a heavy staple, because it's the first night there. It's the one that's been the most promoted and marketed. It's literally on the poster at the O2 Arena. So we will be there day one, general admission. We actually paid the valid pre-sale tickets. We paid £75 plus like fees and stuff, 91. That's valid for a tour, general admission. Tickets are usually expensive for that. So yeah, that's lit. Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna do that. Of course, he's gonna play his older songs and stuff, but mainly just gonna be songs of this album. But it's just gonna be it may be a bit tough, because for his album World Alone in This Together, there were like jumpy songs and like chill songs that are easily digestible, that is good for a tour. But I don't know, we shall see for this one, because we have time to catch up to learn the lyrics for my 27th birthday. So hey, we're just gonna have to do that. Facts. But let me know what you think of the album, if it's valid or not. Me, I really appreciate it and I like it. And it's gonna be in my rotation a lot. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention on the song, what song is it? Rain Dance. He does a reference to Drake's song, From Time. And basically on From Time, Drake says, my mother is 66 and her favorite line is hit, and her favorite line to hit, and her favorite line to hit me up is who the fuck wants to be 70 and alone. No, I'll just start from the start. He goes, you're a flower child, beautiful child, I'm in your zone. Looking like a kid from the 70s on your own. My mother is 66 and her favorite line to hit me with is who the fuck wants to be 70 and alone. And then on Rain Dance, this is what Dave says. Bro, we've got the receipts for this one. He says, he says, this is on verse 3. God knows you're a wild child, beautiful child, I need your help. Looking like a kid from the 90s by yourself. My mother is 61 and her favorite line to tell her. And, whoa, I'll say that again. Sometimes I wish she had a go. Sometimes she wished she had a go. Oh, damn, I need to pattern up with it. But yeah, it references to From Time, which is actually kind of sick. But I think on every song, there's a reference to an album. I mean, to an artist or an album. But obviously, I'm not as dialed in as much. I'm just dialed into what I hear. So obviously, with due time, we're gonna figure out more. But yeah, it's a top tier album, and it deserves its praise. It deserves its praise. A lot of its praise. I don't think Oh, the last thing I got to mention, yeah, because this album has a lot of biblical references. For anyone who's an atheist or someone who's against religion or all these things, it's gonna be difficult for you guys, because this album speaks about God and just the Bible a lot. That if you're just not religious at all, bro, you're just gonna be thinking, what on earth is this? And I was realizing that as an album, and I was thinking, he's mentioning it a lot more than he's ever done on an album. Yeah, if you're a Dave fan, and if you're a person who's against God, bro, it's gonna be difficult for you. It's gonna be difficult for you, because this album is rap gospel, literally. But yeah, it's a good album. Rap gospel. I was speaking to, was I? I haven't really spoken to my guys about the album, but I was speaking to my brother about it, and he was saying that he likes the album a lot. So I can't wait to speak to my guys fully about this. Yep, I can't wait to speak to my guys fully about this project because there's a lot of things to speak about. There's a lot of things to mention, and there's a lot of things that's happened that I may not even know about, but I need to speak to someone about this album because there's a lot to unpack. Facts. Facts. This is just a second. Fred again. Fred again, bro. I want to see Fred again. You know, I made this contribution to myself to not go to any concerts or festivals because we gotta save our cash. But bro, he's been having a generational run. He did his show. He's been doing his 10 shows, 10 CEs, 10 songs, and he's been doing it these past couple weeks, and now he's on week 5. Last week he did it in Paris, and he brought out the guy from Daft Punk. Let me get his name because I don't want to get these facts wrong. I don't want to get them wrong. He performed with Thomas Bangalter. Bangalter. Is that how you say it? Thomas Bangalter. Shout out to him. He's the guy from Daft Punk. And if I bring a picture of him, yeah, he literally he looks like his mask. You know, when they were saying that they brought the guy from Daft Punk, I've never seen a picture of what they look like without the mask because I've always seen them with the mask. So to see him performing with Fred again, and that's the first time that he's performed without a mask in 24 years, which is crazy. I think it's 24 years. He's not performed without a mask in 24 years, which is mad. That's actually crazy because he's always performed with a mask. Him and I don't know the other guy's name, but yeah, and it's the first time he's performed in that same place that they performed in 16 years. So he really did bring a lot of things. And that same place that he performed was the place that he found love with his music before he started with his partner for Daft Punk. So shout out to Fred again, man, because he's on a generational run, literally. And his next show that he's doing is in Dublin, and he's going to be having Fountains DC there. And and I can't lie, I do want to go, but I don't think that's the best decision to do. But I really want to go, honestly. And it's going to be Halloween weekend too. That's going to be sick. Damn. Now, shout out to Fred again, man, because I actually really like his music. Every week, I like more of like electrical dance music a bit more. There's always something I appreciate a bit more. I don't know if it's because our music taste is expanding or we're just liking other things, but bro, our music taste is just changing every week. And all glory to God because there's something that's happening. We could literally be a producer at this point because we're exposed to so much music, so many different artists, genres, and styles and formats of writing and songwriting, and just the way that it's done, and it's sick. But yeah, music is a beautiful thing. And again, if you don't like music, then there's something wrong with you, bro. Facts. Nothing interesting has been going on in my life recently. Just been creating a lot of content since being back because we took a 2 week break of creating content and filming and uploading. But now that we took a 2 week break of creating content, and now that we're back, we're putting the foot on the gas, but we're doing less with the more that we can do. You know, I feel like before we went away, we was doing so much that it was getting a bit too much, that the quality of the stuff was too much and it was horror. And now we're at the point where we're actually trying to manage it. Now, we're not even trying, we are managing it better because that's the best thing that we can do. Day by day, we've got to grow and learn and develop and rewire, take the time off and get back and just start again. And I'm grateful for that time because it's needed. You know, with weirdly doing the tapping into artists till this day, we're still doing that, and I'm surprised that it's still working. Like, honestly, because I'm thinking, what can we do different? What can we do? How can we make things better? But it's just the tapping into bands, it just works, and it may be a holy grail glitch that we just made, and all glory to God, because I'll be thinking it's going to get to a point where it's not going to work, or it's going to stop, or people are going to get bored. I'm going to get bored. But there's just always something every day, every week that just keeps us going, or someone requests an artist and it gets a lot of likes for me to tap into the artist and it does well. And I'm very grateful because there was points where nothing was landing, nothing was working, and we just keep trying and trying and trying and trying and doing it, and it wouldn't work. But when you do that one effortless thing off that one idea, push through it because it will set you far. And this is advice to anyone. You really have to love what you want to do, because if you don't, when things are not going well, you will stop. And it's all about that consistency and that faith and that hope in yourself to just keep going, because it really does work in the long run. You have to keep going. Don't stop, because everything is working out. I'm very grateful. Every day I'm like grateful. Like I love checking my TikTok and just seeing, people going back and forth on the comments on like these songs or these artists, or why I didn't tap into that. Like I love it. And I know that in this day and age, like you should have that time off social media, but I love it. I thrive off it. Like I thrive off it. I was watching Chris. I forgot. I don't know how you say his last name, but Chris Unk. The one in New York. He's basically just him. He was saying how when his content was not really doing well, he felt sad because he thrives off doing it. And I related to that because I genuinely do thrive off it. Like I love doing it. I love talking to people about music, or just anything in general. So yeah, like we're not stopping anytime soon. Even when things are not working, from afro to cornrows to braids to fades to grays, we're not gonna stop. I know I stole that line off someone, but we're not stopping anytime soon. So every week we're gonna keep doing these, tapping into different bands, and we're gonna keep going. Nothing really interesting is happening again in my life. I'm just working and creating content. I'm grateful to call this a job, but I'm still doing my bar job on the side, and we are leaving at some point. I don't know when, but we are. I'm genuinely leaving it to God. I've failed so many times. I've quit so many jobs, and then I end up going back to having to find a new job because rent has to be paid, bills have to be paid, but I just make the same mistakes every time. I think that's one of my problems. I make the same recurring mistake until I feel physically crushed and I'm like, okay, I can't do that anymore because we'll go back to that. And it's fucked. It's so fucked, but it's just the way that I learn. Like I have to go through a tremendous amount of pain because I feel like I've got a high pain threshold. I think that's the word. I've got no tolerance, high pain tolerance, that I can just accept it. But it can't keep happening because we've got to learn in this life. If you're not quick, life will come at you fast in a blink of an eye. So yeah, that's one thing that I'll be learning every single day. And we will at some point. I just don't know when. An amazing date will be to leave 24th of December, 24th of November, any day on the 24th. Perfect, because that's my favorite number. And speaking of 24th, right, bro, speaking of 24th, I got this book, Shoe Dog. This is by the owner of Nike, well, the CEO of Nike, Phil Knight. And bro, like, this may be illusion or delusion, but there's something beautiful about the number 24. I'm born on the 24th of September, my favorite number. Every good thing happens on the 24th, and I believe that. Broski made Nike on the 24th. What date was it? On the 24th of some date. On the 24th. His age, he was 24. He was also born on the 24th of February. 24 is a generational number because it also means that you're on the right path. There's so many things about that number, bro, that I was reading this book and I just related with it heavy. And I've already read like 3-5 pages. Everything that he was saying, it's the stuff that I do. Like, I'm not going to say that I'm going to be like Phil Knight. Actually, not. Fuck that. I'm going to be like Phil Knight, but in my own way. I've got that mindset. We've got that mindset gifted from the man above, and we're only going to keep growing. But yeah, read that book. I've only read 3 pages, 5 pages, but it's generational. It's generational. But yeah, tap into that book because it's really good. Damn. Daniel Caesar dropped his album, and to have a break from listening to Dave's album, listen to it. Listen to Daniel Caesar's album. It is a good project. Like, it is really, really good. Very, very good. In my opinion, I low-key may prefer it to his past album, Never Enough, which may be a hot take, but bro, there's one song on there that has Bon Iver on it, and I may actually have to tap into Bon Iver because he sounds really good when they do a song together. It's called Sins of the Father, and bro, it's amazing. It's beautiful. Like, it does not miss. I may have to play a couple parts of it. Bro, that's it. bro, like honestly, that's just amazing, bro. But yeah, there's a common thing that happens on this album that when a song finishes, you can just hear the backgrounds of a lake, water stream just flowing. And it really does remind me of the time when I was in Africa, the place that I was staying at, it had waterlogged like streams just flowing. And it really does make you feel balanced and content in life. And honestly, for the house that I get, I want to be able to hear like a lake or a stream or something because there's something peaceful about that that just it's peaceful. It's very peaceful, and you need that. You need to hear that when you go on a walk. Find a place that has like a water flow, stream, or something because it really just does put you back into reality and make you think this is it. Like this is actually it. But yeah, Daniel Caesar's album is just absolute euphoria. Like there's not a lot for me to say about the album, but you just need to listen to it. Him just talking about his love, his problems that he goes through, and just love, love, love. Like he's a lover, man, bro, and he puts that into the album, and it sounds really good, very, very good. Like you have to tap into it. I was hesitant to listen to it because I was thinking, I want to listen to Dave's album, but I wanted to take a break from listening to Dave. So like, let's listen to Daniel Caesar. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. And as well, Daniel Caesar is going to be at All Point East Festival next year. And that's the festival that Tyler, the Creator, is going to be performing at 2 days. Low-key, Drake started this wave of artists doing multiple days at a festival because now look at them. All Point East have Tyler performing 2 nights. Drake literally, he's a visionary. Yeah, that All Point East festival lineup is insane. It really does have Baby Keem, and he's not performed in ages. So for him to be there, top tier. Daniel Caesar, top tier. There's more people. There's more people on that lineup. Fake Mink. Nah, but there's a lot more people on that lineup, and we will be there. Ticket prices is 166 though. The Tyler the Creator taxes is going up, man, and that stinks. It stinks, but we will be there. We will maybe, maybe not, maybe not. Facts. um. Oh, this is a random thing to speak about, but when Dave was doing a post about his album, you know how every artist, when they've dropped their album, they do like this long message of an album saying thank you, and then they do like a little carousel of the process of the album. On the first picture, he had a picture of him, yeah, holding his album, but in the background, you could see a specific album. You could see a specific vinyl, and that album was Mickey's album, Two Star and the Dream Police. Honestly, I don't know why, but I had a feeling that the album will be. No, I had a feeling that he would have Mickey on the album. It didn't happen, but just being delusional. So, hey, to see the vinyl in the background, my delusional works came to work. My delusional idea came to work because I have a feeling that Mickey's album had some what's the word, inspiration. So, hey, real music is back. Facts. We tapped into Kneecap and Prodigy, and they are interesting group or bands. Kneecap, Irish group, to Mind Mess. Prodigy, Mind Mess. The song Firestarter, Mind Mess. I like their song that they have this one song that's actually valid that I did not think I would enjoy at all, but I like it. For me to listen to at the gym, I must like it. And it's called Diesel Power. It goes crazy. Also, to mention, I'm just mentioning songs that I like recently. There's a song called there's a song that Ian dropped his album or project, whatever, called 2005. And there's a song called You Told Me. Very good. There's also a song called Oh Shit. Very good. It's actually catchy, but You Told Me is fire. I like it. It actually sounds really good. And then Sam Sam Galleri Tari. I don't know how you say his last name, but Sam, he dropped a song called Love on Me. Fire. I'm still listening to Olivia Dean's album, The Art of Loving. Perfect. But yeah, those songs there, I'm just liking a lot. And as well, Tame Impala dropped his album. What is it called? Deadbeat. It's I like some songs, but not every song, because there's some songs on the album that just, if you were to listen to his past albums and listen to this album, you wouldn't even think it's the same artist. But obviously the voice, you can just tell because he's got a distinctive voice, but you just wouldn't really think that it's Tame Impala. Facts. And then I'll be listening to Catfish on the Bottom End, Tyrants, Glasgow, and 2 and then M60. They have good music, but yeah, bro, the music taste has been changing. It's been shifting, and it's sick. But we're on this journey every day. We're on this journey, tapping into different music, and I hope that it's resonating with people to listen to different songs, because I've always been that type of guy that was stuck on the music to listen to one genre, stick onto that genre. But there's just more to that. There's more to that. And I hope that it's resonating with others, because that's the way it is. That's how it should be. You know, you like different things and you appreciate different things. Fitness update. We're back. The discipline is back. We've been going gym 5 times a week. We came, we went back again today. We're just working out consistently. We're back. I've been finding it difficult to drink 3 liters of water a day. I don't know why. I've been finding it difficult. Like, I forget to drink a lot of water. Then it's like 8 or 9. And I'm thinking, fuck, I haven't drank my water during the day. And it's a bit too late to just drink a whole 1.5 liter. Otherwise, I'll be going to sleep there, and then I'll pee myself in my sleep. But now, little things like that, like, yeah, it's just getting back into that routine. Like, it can be difficult. It can be difficult at times. And my laptop is bugging right now. But yeah, it can be difficult at times to get back into that routine. But we're back. You know, I've got this one problem that I've been facing, that while creating content or just living or being in my 20s, I've been doing a lot of things alone, and I don't think you should be doing that in your 20s or just in life, period. The best things that were made with others or with other people, and I feel like I've just been doing too much on my own. I'm just tired of it. I don't want to be doing too much on my own. I don't want to be doing podcasts all the time on my own. You know, there's so much out there that can be done with people, with a group of people, because that's where you get the best experience, because you all go through that experience together. Iron sharpens iron. So why should I be on my own? I should not be doing everything on my own, because we're not alone. Okay, it's I like my own presence. Like, it's beautiful, it's amazing. But I don't want to be doing everything by myself, man. It gets boring, you know? So if anyone who is like me, bro, you know, make that challenge to speak to someone or do work with someone or something, because doing this on your own, man, it really does make things harder for you to get to where you want to go. Working with people, it really does boost things in an instant. For example, Drake, when he works with artists, bro, like, it goes up. Like, you can't keep doing things by yourself. You have to have that balance, and that's one thing that I'm finding difficult, but we'll figure it out, God willing. You know, I pray about it, I talk about it, and in due time. And it really just, like, my friends were very different. They're not in this content realm. They don't really do this creative realm. So I'm thinking, damn, okay, if my friends don't really want to be on that, then who have I got? You know, I've really got to just message people or just do something like that, hit up people and just reach out instead of doing things by myself, or just be like, oh, because my friends don't do that, then I'll just be stuck on my own. You know, it's like I'm trying to play victim, and we shouldn't do that. So yeah, that's one thing that I've just been struggling with. And yeah, I'll hit you back next week if we actually have, you know, worked or messaged or done something to work with others. Who knows, we may even have a guest for next episode, but I'm tired of doing things alone. We can't keep doing things alone. We're a group, we're a community, and 4 hands, 6 hands are better than 2 hands. So yeah, that's what's going on in my mind. I've been watching this TV show called Boots. Fire. It's about this guy that goes into the Marines, and he's a sissy, but as the episode goes on, he turns into him. But yeah, that's low-key what's going on. I don't think I've missed anything. Yeah, man. I think we've mentioned everything for this episode. Episode 41. Let's double check if this is actually 41. Because if I'm wrong, then I'm damned. Yes, we're so back. Episode 41. We were correct. But yeah, this has been episode 41 of the Perspective Podcast. We'll talk about music, life, everything. Make sure you're getting your workouts done, going on your walks, speaking to your people, and just getting yourself out there. We have something coming soon with Perspective. Trust me. I've been working my ass off, like, literally, and we will be back with something. and it may not be next episode, it may not be the episode after that, but something is happening, and I'd rather not say anything about it until it's there. So yeah, bear with me. We are rising and we are back. And thank you for tapping into episode 41. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.